Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to football's eve of the Super Bowl, and welcome to the Wrestling Chronicles Volume Number 5. This is a very special edition of the Wrestling Chronicles. We're going to talk about the breaking news that happened last night. We're going to talk about the releases. We're going to talk about Cedric. We're going to talk about Bear Bronson. We got a lot of the wrestling news to cover. So we're going to do it today and we're going to do it this afternoon. So sit back and get ready as I give you my thoughts on these releases plus Bear Bronson plus wrestling news. It's a very special edition, Super Bowl Eve edition of the Wrestling Chronicles, volume number 5. All right, everyone, and welcome back to the Wrestling Chronicles, volume number 5. Please make sure that you hit that like button, and of course, you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate it. And don't forget, everyone, make sure that you listen to what I have to say today because, well, I'm just going to give you my thoughts on these releases, and I'm going to give you everything that I can possibly give you in the world of wrestling. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, make sure that you hit that notification bell as well. Make sure that you know exactly when I go live. It's always a good time with me and the wrestling experience. Um, Here's the thing. Last night I ended SmackDown last night only to open up on X and other social media platforms to find out that WWE was doing some house cleaning behind the scenes. And just in case if you all didn't hear or you don't know anything, Cedric Alexander, Sonya Deville, Authors of Pain, Paul Ellering, and Blair Davenport were all released by WWE. All released. So I'm just gonna go through the list and I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you about Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander was a former cruiserweight champion, and after 9 years in WWE, his journey came to an end. His journey came to an end yesterday, and he said on X, he said, "Thank you for at least 8.5 years. Being a professional wrestler has been a dream of mine since I could from memory. I will continue to do so until otherwise. The Lord says otherwise. I will continue to do so until the Lord says otherwise. See you in 90. Hashtag see you in 90. All right. So Alexander will have to wait for the 90-day clause to expire for him to go to any other wrestling organization. If you all don't know Alexander's resume, I'm going to tell you. Alexander first made his waves in WWE after competing in the 201 and the 6 Cruiserweight Classic where he won the audience with his performance and his against his Kota Ibushi match style that famously led to Triple H giving him the nod to sign him. He later became a staple of 205 Live, capturing the Cruiserweight Championship before making his way to the Raw roster. Now, when he was on the Raw roster, he wasn't flourishing. He wasn't flourishing at all. They Cedric Alexander was just used as a jobber. That's what they were using Cedric Alexander for, as a jobber. And you could tell he was used as a jobber because they didn't really put him in any prominent matches or anything like that, anything significant. So I was just like, well, if you're not going to use him, then if you don't have any creative plans for him, or you don't have anything creative to even put him on the map, then why have him hang around? Because all you made him into was a curtain jerker. And that to me is just wrong in any aspects, if you want me to be honest with you. That's just wrong. Cedric Alexander was a talented wrestler, very talented. He had a lot of athleticism. I used to watch 205 Live. I used to love seeing him perform on that show. And he was good at what he was. But after he got to the main roster, it was just, he wasn't utilized. He didn't capture the audience. He was in quick matches. He was putting over other talent. And they just jobbed him like they do Natalia. Yeah, I know you all are talking about AEW. Hold the phone. I don't think he can sign with AEW. Why? Because of Big Swole. If you all don't know, Alexander is married to Big Swole, and she cannot stand AEW. She had a beef with Tony Khan back in the day, if you all didn't remember that, how she says that the company was not diverse enough. So I don't know. I don't see Alexander going to AEW anytime soon. And I don't know if his wife will allow him to sign with AEW after she had a beef with Tony Khan. Yes, I know some of you are saying, but his beef is not with her. Listen, if you understand, they are a package deal. And if she tells him don't sign with AEW, I think Alexander will be listening to the wife, happy life. So I don't think that he would be signing with AEW, knowing that she has a beef with Tony Khan. I could see Alexander winding up on TNA. I could see him doing that. I could see him going to TNA. I could actually see that happening, signing with TNA, and I don't have a problem with that either. If he signs with TNA once his 90 days is up, so I don't have an issue with this. I don't have an issue with this whatsoever. I don't have an issue with this whatsoever. But he needs to flourish in other companies because he wasn't utilized correctly. He was not utilized at all, and that is the truth. Like I said, they booked him in quick matches. They just put him in a jobber form, and that was all that they did with him creatively. Just didn't really do anything for the audience, and it didn't do anything for Cedric's career as well. He was not flourishing in the WWE once he came up to the main roster, and he was part of the syndicate now known as the Hurt Syndicate. He was part of that faction. He was part of that faction, and he was shining in that faction. until it was dissolved by Vince McMahon. And that was the end of his career. That was the end of it. Because once he was kicked out of that faction, Cedric Alexander just didn't have it anymore. They just didn't have anything for him creatively, and he could not capture what he captured when he was in 205 Live and when he was in the faction with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and MVP. So that was the story on Cedric Alexander. Now, as far as AOP and Paul Ellering is concerned, AOP on the second round, first of all, they were fired the first time. They were released the first time. They came back to WWE, and the same thing happened. No spark whatsoever. No spark with the audience. They were boring as heck on television. They put everyone to sleep, including Paul Ellering. And I was very shocked when Paul Ellering came back to the WWE because he says that he hated traveling full time. He hated it. He hated it. And then, well, I guess money talks. So they gave him the money to come back. They saddlebagged AOP with Karrion Cross with no personality whatsoever. And they just were, this second time around, they were just not good. They didn't connect with the audience. I was bored with them. And once they were done with the Wyatt Six feud, that was the end of AOP. That's the end of it. They had no more creative plans for them. They were not going to use them. They were not utilizing them. So goodbye to Paul Ellering and to the AOP. And like I said, they failed to connect with the audience the second time around, and they're not as good as anything. They just it was just it was just no good. It was just no good for them. No good, no bueno. So I thought that after they came back the second time, I kind of knew that they were not going to go anywhere, and I knew that they were not going to do anything with them creatively. So I kind of knew that that was a bust. So their first round was a bust. Their second round was a bust, and now they are permanently out of WWE and the fabric. So that's it for that. Blair Davenport getting released. Well, I haven't seen too much of her. I don't know what she's been doing. I believe she was in NXT, but I haven't seen anything creatively said about her or brought her to the main roster or even do anything with her with the women in the locker room. So if you don't have anything to do with her creatively and you're wasting money on a talent that you could not. David, how are you doing, David? Hit that like button, David. Everybody, please smash the like button. I greatly appreciate it. Um, so I I don't know much about Blair Davenport. All I know is that they really haven't. I haven't heard any conversations about her being put on the main roster or being put in prominent matches. But they had nothing creative for her anyway. I don't think they were going to do anything with her. I don't think there was anything. And like I said before, I'll say it again. If you, why do you think? Why you think of the releases? Yeah, I'm talking about that, David. I think the reason why the WWE did these releases, David, to be honest with you, is because they had to cut the piggy from the fat. I mean, you really can't sit there and pay talent that you're not going to utilize. Why pay talent sitting by catering for nothing? These people are just hanging around doing nothing. They're doing nothing. They're taking up air. You don't need to be backstage every day to be taking up air. You're not doing anything. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to be flourished. They're not using you on main story. They're focusing right now on main storylines. And that's what the WWE is doing right now. They're focusing on main storylines. They've got an elimination chamber creeping around the corner on March the 1st. WrestleMania is in April. We got SummerSlam coming. We got other things going on. Blair never was given Blair was never given a chance. No, she wasn't, David. No, she was. She wasn't given a chance. She wasn't given a chance to flourish. She wasn't given a chance to do anything creatively for the WWE. They just gave up on her. And it's unfortunate. But when a company has decided that lucratively it's just not worked for them to keep you hanging around, they have no alternative but to give you the release. So we wish Blair Davenport the best of luck. Now, as far as Sonya Deville is concerned, all right, Sonya Deville was out of action with a knee injury. She had a knee injury, she had surgery on the knee, but then she came back and she started with this faction with Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, known as Pure Fusion Collection. What a stupid name! What a stupid name to call a faction, Pure Fusion Collection, or whatever you want to call it. The faction was boring. It was whack. The faction was whack. I'm sorry. The faction was whack, and it just served no value on WWE TV. Sonya Deville was a GM for a while. She was a GM, and she abused her power in the storyline. She abused her power, and she really did not connect very well with the WWE audience. She really didn't. Um, I found her to be a non-factor in WWE TV. She every time she came out with that pure fusion color, it was the name was whack. The name was whack. The name was whack. Pure Fusion Collection was whack. The name was whack. And I'm sorry, I'm just being honest here. This is my opinion and my opinion only. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. That's fine. If you don't agree with me, but for me personally, I just thought it was whack. I mean, if you think differently, that's fine. I'm not. I respect your opinion. I get it complicitly. But for me personally, I thought it was whack. I thought it was whack. I really thought it was whack. And the Pure Fusion collection just was not clicking with nothing, nobody. Where did they come up with that name? I have no idea. But Shayna Baszler has been another person that I'm concerned with. That they could release her. Because I if I was Shayna Baszler, I would try to reinvent myself and get away from Zoe Stark and start trying to do something and put some package together and start talking to Triple H. I would start talking to Triple H and come up with some ideas for your gimmick and try to see if they can push you creatively and give you that creative push because Shayna Baszler's been around WWE for a while now. They don't give her a title match. They don't put her in prominent matches. They don't do anything with Shayna Baszler. All Shayna Baszler does is that she gets attached to people. That's all they do with her. That's all she's done is get attached to people. She's not flourishing like she did in NXT. She's not doing anything. She gets saddlebagged with all of these women. Why can't they just do something great for Shayna Baszler? She was the NXT champion for Christ's sakes. I mean, she was a champion in NXT. Don't that resume resonate with you? Don't her NXT resume resonate with anybody? She has potential, Shayna Baszler, and I'm kind of concerned that she may be the next one to go, and that would be sad because you all don't know what to do with talent like that. Shayna Baszler was a champion. Does anybody know that? Does anybody remember that? And you don't even put her on television promptly. All you do is saddlebag her with these ladies and Zoe Stark, Nia Jax, etc. The list goes on and on. Like she can't seem to do anything by herself. She needs a creative self push. That's what Shayna Baszler needs. She needs a self push. Because I'm afraid if she keeps attaching herself to other women on that roster, like Zoe Starks and others, that are not connecting with the audience, they can get both released. And Zoe Stark is another person that I'm kind of concerned with. So there's two women there that I'm concerned with, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. I'm concerned for them. But like I said, in my opinion, in my heart of hearts, Shayna Baszler needs to get a creative self push. She needs to get a push. And there's no two ways about that. But as for going back to Sonya Deville was just no bueno. She was just no bueno. She just was very vanilla, very vanilla, and there's just nothing. There's nothing I can say about that. So that's my take on these releases. That's my take on these releases, and I wish all of them the best of luck. I wish all of them the best of luck. I really do, because it's tough out there when you get laid off. But like I said, these these individuals here, they just were not doing anything with them creatively. And like I said, my biggest concern now is Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Those are the two women that I'm concerned with because they could be next. And the next person that you need to release is Omos. Omos has been around WWE now for God knows how long, and you still haven't done anything with him. He's like an albatross around in the neck of WWE. That's the next person you need to go is Omos. There's a lot of people in the back of WWE that you're not doing nothing with them. And if I were you, I would start looking around and poking my head around and looking and see who am I not pushing correctly and who needs to go because they're not connecting with the audience. That's what you need to do. Because the people that you released last night and let go, they just were not connecting with the audience correctly. And you were killing you like I said, you were killing Shayna Baszler's star power by hooking her up with Sonya Deville. And she was just no good. She was just no good on WWE TV. She was no good. She was no her second time around in she just no. And her contract was not going to be renewed. I knew that was going to happen to her. I knew it because she was not connecting with you. I saw it. All her matches, every match that she had and was in, the audience was silent. The audience was silent. They had no reaction to Sonya Deville. Nothing. It's not like if the Naomi came out of the curtain or a Bianca Belair came out of the curtain and the crowd popped for the both of them. and then they were silent for the rest of the. At least they got the pop, but that's it. That's it. Sonya Deville never got a pop. She never had anybody scream and holler for her. I never seen anybody was like she's the best or no, nothing, nothing. Tumbleweeds when she came out in the audience. And like I said, fans make wrestling. I don't care what anyone says. If you don't believe me, that's fine. But fans make wrestling. Fans make wrestling. And the thing is that you want to, when you invest in wrestling, you want something good. And Sonya Deville was not that. Sonya Deville was not that. She was just not. But like I've said it before, and I'll say it from the rooftop, and I'll say it from here to Lake Janine to the Philon station. I'm telling you, you all need to. We have to. I'm kind of concerned for Shayna Baszler because if she continues to go down the road she's continuing with now that Sonya is out of the picture and she had Zoe Starks, what is next for Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks? I'm kind of concerned about that. Kind of concerned about that, folks. You know, kind of concerned. So, all right. So those are the releases. Those were the releases. All right. Let's go to some wrestling news. And here's another one that was very telling here. All right. Multiple sites reported that Bear Boulder was fired by AEW, and the decision was made after um, AEW found out that he was arrested for battery by strangulation in mid-January. So Bear Boulder, Bear Boulder was arrested and fired by AEW because of his domestic violence that he did and strangulation. You know, here's the thing, folks. I don't care what someone says to you. I don't care if somebody is insulting you or they're pushing your buttons or what. But you do not, and listen to me carefully, Earl, what you think of Hogan getting booed? I'll answer your question, David, in a minute. Um, here's the thing. Here's the thing with Bear Boulder and domestic violence and everything else. You do not, you do not put your hands on somebody. I don't care what the person has done to you. I don't care what they said about you. You, if you are angry and you are angry enough to the point where you're going to do harm to somebody, get out of the room and go breathe. Get out of the room and go breathe because the next thing you're going to do is going to determine your life. And what I mean by that is that the the actions that you're going to take in that moment could change your life forever. You don't put your hands on somebody because they pissed you off. You don't choke somebody because you get angry at them. You don't do that. I don't care whether you're a man or a woman. You don't do that. You don't put your hands on somebody. You just don't do that. You put a pin in it and you walk away. but you don't resort in putting your hands on somebody physically and do something to them that will hurt them. It's not worth it for you to go to prison, for you to be put in a police car, to get put in the jail, to get your picture taken, to put in the system. Because once you go into the system, folks, your life is over. Your life is over. Your reputation is over. Your popularity is over. You don't put your hands on anybody. Man, woman, cat, it doesn't matter. You don't put your hands on a woman. You don't put your hands on a man. Violence is not the answer. Take a walk. Take a breath. Put a pin in it and then come back to it later. Or stay somewhere away from the person. So Bear Bronson was definitely in the wrong. These allegations, he was in the wrong. And it was justified by AEW to fire him. All right. Now, to answer David's question, what do you think about Hogan getting booed? David, Hulk Hogan right now is out of love with wrestling fans. Wrestling fans are not happy with Hulk Hogan. He has a shifty past. Hogan has said some hellacious things, hellacious racism things. And I'm going to tell you this much. I'm going to say this. If you are a racist, if you are a racist and you have racist thoughts or you have homophobic thoughts, keep them to yourself. Keep them to yourself. If that's what you believe, if you're a racist, if you that's how you were brought up, keep that stuff to yourself. You don't need to display it to everyone. You don't need to display it. Racism, homophobic, whatever you want, gender Z, whatever you want to call it. All of those things do not belong in wrestling. And as a public figure, Hulk Hogan should know that. I don't believe in racism. I don't believe in homophobic. I don't believe in anything. Who you love is none of your business. Who you love is not my business. Who you love is not my business. Nope. Earl, you are kind, sir. Thank you very much, David. Who you love is not anyone's business. And as far as friends go, let me tell you something. When I make friends with someone, I don't see color. I don't see color. I see human being. When I see people sit there and talk all that nonsense and be woke and all that kind of nonsense, I'm not like that. I'm the opposite. I treat everybody with respect. I treat everybody as an equal. I don't see color when I see people. Now, if most of you don't know this, I was accused of being a racist once. I'm not a racist, and I don't, and I'm not a racist, and I don't, and I'm not hateful on women. So there's that. But Hogan getting booed, justified. He said some terrible things. He said some terrible things. Uh, he's done some nasty things in the past. I don't respect Hogan, and I used to grow up on Hulk Hogan. But then when I was reading the internet and all the stuff that he used to say and his thoughts and his views and everything else, I got turned off. I got turned off. I got turned off. I was disappointed. I was hurt. I was mad. And all the emotions that just was boiling in me, it spilled over. So I mean, I again, like I said before, I'll say it again. I don't see color, and I don't. I'm not like I said. I don't see color when it comes to friendships, lovers, or any. I don't see color. I don't. Hologram, hologram. How you doing, hologram? Hit that like button, hologram. Hologram, how you doing? So I don't see color. I don't see color. I don't. I love everyone. I love everyone. Oh, red emoji. Oh, okay. Thank you, hologram. Make sure you all hit that like button. Make sure you all hit it. Hit that like button. So that's my take on Hulk Hogan. I hit the like button before I did anything else. Absolutely. Thank you so much, hologram. Thank you, hologram. So that's my take on Hulk Hogan. That's my take on the release. That's my take on everything in the world of wrestling. All right, let's continue. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE has a plan going back to October for John Cena to win the Elimination Chamber match. The idea was born for of the WrestleMania 41 main events. The story of Cena is going for the record of 17th world title. So, thank you, Hologram. I greatly appreciate it. So apparently, the WWE had this plan back in October, and they are going to go with Cena winning the Chamber. I don't have a problem with this. If this is the road that they want to travel on, getting Cena to win the Chamber, and then I guess Jay Uso will pick Gunther for the title, which means Cena will go after um Rhodes for the title at WrestleMania. I don't have a problem with this. This is the first time that Cena will go against Rhodes. He will go against Cody Rhodes. This is the first time they've ever wrestled. And it's gonna be great. Double main event for WrestleMania. We have Jay Uso going after Gunther, and then we have Cena going after Rhodes for the title, and he's gonna win the Elimination Chamber. I have no problem with it. None whatsoever. That's I believe that's the road that they're gonna travel on, and I believe that's the road that's gonna happen here. And that's fine. That's fine. Now, the reason why Roman Reigns won't be in the chamber is because again the PW Insider have said that they did not want to see Roman get pinned in the chamber. So they kept him out of the chamber and they made a storyline that he is injured right now and he cannot compete in the elimination chamber. So that is why Roman won't be in the Elimination Chamber. They are protecting Roman at this point, the WWE, for something else. And I believe that something else is they're going to do that triple threat match that everyone is talking about. It will be Roman taking on Rollins, taking on Punk at WrestleMania 41. And I believe that's what they're going to do with this. They're going to kill two storylines with one stone. Put the three men in there and let them go to war. I don't have an issue with this whatsoever. And I believe that's what they're going to do here. So far, WrestleMania card is shaping up to be something of nothing short of sensational. And I believe the tag team titles will be up for grabs as well. I think they're going to do a triple threat match with the Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, and of course DIY. But I think it should have a very special stipulation. Maui Mike was here. Um, I'd rather see Punk in a one-on-one match. Yeah, I understand. I understand Hologram. I understand. But I believe that this is the road that they want to travel on. I believe that this is the road that the WWE is traveling on here. And I believe that's what they're going to do. I have a funny feeling that's what we're going to get at WrestleMania. Triple threat, triple threat. Um, Take care of these two feuds in one match. It's like I said, killing two birds with one stone. That's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. All right. Fightful Select AEW sources told Fightful they expect several people, such as the Hurt Syndicate, will push for Cedric Alexander to be brought in now that he's gone from WWE. But it's not clear if the contentious way his wife, Big Swole, left the company would be an issue. So it, yeah, WWE loves their triple threat matches at Mania. Yes, they do. Hooligan. Yes, they do. They love their triple threat. That's their soup. That's their cook pot. That's their cook pot. They love that triple threat soup. They love it. They relish in it. Well, you know something? I don't mind a triple threat as long as the triple threat match is good. Is good. As long as it's booked correctly and it's done correctly on paper and execution wise, I don't have a problem with a triple threat match, but it has to be done correctly for me to invest in. And as a fan of 3 decades, uh, triple threat soup. Yeah, you like that look on triple threat soup? Yeah, they like that triple threat soup. That's what they, if you will. They like that triple threat soup, if you will. All the potatoes and stuff in it, and if you will. Anyway, anywho, um, yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I thank you, Jose. I greatly appreciate it. Oh, I got more for you. Um, Anywho, getting back to what I was talking about, Frightful Select says that the Hurt Syndicate is pushing for Cedric Alexander to come to AEW now that he's been released from WWE. I did mention this before in the stream. If you all didn't know, Cedric Alexander was released by WWE. Um, I don't think. I think the issue with Big Swole and her issues with AEW is going to play a factor here because, as I said before, she has a beef with Tony Khan. And the thing is that if she has a beef with Tony Khan, I don't know if she's going to allow her husband to go into AEW and join the Hurt Syndicate. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem because, as you know, Big Swole is married to Cedric Alexander, and she had a big Twitter beef war with Tony Khan about diversity, and Big Swole was just way off base when she was talking about the AEW not being diverse enough. She was way off base. She was race baiting and everything else like that. She was just so way off. I've already talked about this many times over with several different folks. And I just it's no bueno. It's not good. It's not good because her findings were baseless. They were baseless. I mean, it was just ridiculous. It's not diverse enough. What are you talking about? What about Stephon Smith when they had Mark Henry there? I mean, come on now. The list is endless. Absolutely ridiculous. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure once his clause is completed, his 3 month clause is completed, whether he would sign with AEW and they mend fences by then. I don't know. Swerve Strickland was a champion, absolutely, Hooligan. Swerve Strickland was AEW champ for a long time. Like I said, there was Stephon Smith, who's a African American referee for AEW. Red Velvet is another person. You want me to continue? Like Hooligan said, Ricochet. Yeah, Ricochet getting a push in AEW. And she's just talking about the place is not diverse enough. And that's a whack statement. That is a whack statement right there. That's whack. That is a whack statement. Athena is right for 2 years or something. Exactly, Hooligan. Athena, who is in WWE, now in AEW, she's the ROH Women's Champion for 2 years going straight now. Big Swole and her stupid comment about AEW not diverse enough. Ha! Girlfriend, I don't know what to tell you. You. All right. Following Blair Davenport's WWE release, Fightful says that they would never plan to create, never had any creative plans with her. A rumor that she would have been featured more on SmackDown once it expanded to 3 hours. So Davenport was supposed to go to the SmackDown women's roster. She was supposed to go down to the women's roster, but again, creatively, they just didn't have anything for her. They just changed their mind, which is a shame because she never got a chance to even flourish in WWE. She never did. So, yeah, and there was no plans for Davenport anyway. Isla Dawn got released today. Oh, breaking news by Hooligan. Thank you, Hooligan. Isla Dawn got released today. Okay, so that's breaking news. So Elba Fire and Isla Dawn are no longer together. Isla Dawn got released. So that's breaking news. Thank you, Hooligan, for that. So again, like I said, all of these people that are getting released are people that they cannot do anything creatively with them. And Alba Fire and Aladon, even though they captured the women's tag team championship, they had no spark. These people that are being released have no spark whatsoever on WWE TV. Kind of weird because she was in attack. No, it's not. I wouldn't say it was weird, hooligan. I'm going to say at this point they just didn't have anything creatively for her. They just didn't have anything. She just had no spark. They just had no spark. They were not prominent enough on WWE TV. You gotta understand something. In order for you to survive on WWE and WWE TV and all the PLEs and be prominent, they have to have strong storylines. Aladon last TV match was in November. See, that's what I'm talking about. Her last match was in November of 2024. That's a long time to be off of WWE TV. That's a long time. You're talking about November, December, January. Okay, we're in February now. That's almost 4 months. She hasn't been on TV. That's almost 4 months. We haven't seen her and Alba Fyre on TV. Earl, you watch Collision? Yes, I do. David, I do watch it. Um, so yeah, so I just listen. Elba Fine Aladon. If you don't have anything creatively for them, and they don't have a spark, you can't keep them around. You just can't. You just can't keep them around. You just can't. It's just not. It's just not conducive. So thank you, Hooligan, for that breaking news. So if you all didn't hear the breaking news, Alba Fire, Aladon, Alba Fire Aladon has been released. Aladon has been released. Alba Fire is still hanging around. But like I said, the main thing here is that the WWE now is focusing on other talent and other storylines that they are pushing. What I don't get is all the hate Triple H is getting for these releases. I mean, what do you want Triple H to do? He has to answer to TKO. He has to answer to the board of directors here. You can't sit there and write for everybody. You just can't. The roster is big enough as it is. You have other storylines. Like I said in the beginning of the stream, you have WrestleMania coming up. You've got an elimination chamber you gotta do. So there's two big events right there in front of you that you gotta do. You gotta write for the two events, and you can't make them whack. Both events can't exactly, Earl. They can't keep everyone exactly. They can't keep everyone. The roster is big enough as it is, and right now they're trying to focus on several different things, and they're trying to keep the audience entertained, and they're trying to keep the audience from losing the focus here. We've got an elimination chamber. We've got like I said, I'm going to repeat myself. I don't keep want to keep repeating myself, but we've got an elimination chamber coming up. We've got WrestleMania in the cook pot coming up in April. And these matches have to make sense. The storylines have to make sense. So you have to keep the focus here. If you're not going to keep somebody that you're not going to write for or you're not going to make prominent on television, you have to let them go. You've got no alternative. Because if you focus on people that are not prominent, then the people that you want to be prominent will get left on the cutting room floor. And that means critical details will be missed in a storyline. And that's something the audience will be chewing on when they see a storyline. If you don't think a fan won't go on Twitter and on Instagram and things and complain about a storyline that's not politically correct, you got another thing coming. So the storylines that you are creating, Earl, what do you think of Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo views taking talking about it? I'll answer that in a minute, David. Um, I'm like I said before, nobody should hate Triple H for doing his job. Nobody should hate Triple H. You all are so fickle. You know, God rest his soul. Jeffrey used to say to me, or used to say all the time when that fans were fickle. He's right. Fans are fickle. You all are fickle. If the WWE did not focus on important storylines, or the storylines was a hot mess and it was just all over the place, you all would have jumped on that in a heartbeat. You all would have jumped on that in a heartbeat. And don't tell me no, because it's true. You all will jump on it. You all would jump on it if the storyline was done incorrectly. And that's the truth. That's the God honest truth. Do you want an impromptu guest on your show? Oh, what are you offering, Hooligan? Um, to answer your question, David. Um, David asked, Earl, what do you think of Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo? Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo views on talking about WWE. Okay, David. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo are bitter. I offer my crazy take. All right, Hooligan. Um, Vince Russo, Vince Russo is bitter. So is Eric Bischoff. They always talk about. Now, listen, I understand everybody's a fan of Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff. That's fine. I'm not going to trample on your thought process. If you love them, you think that they're the best thing since sliced bread. That's just fine. And everything else. But the thing is that they've been bitter towards WWE and AEW, especially Eric Bischoff. He's always bitter. I think I'm not going to pay attention to their views because I have my own thoughts. If you want to, of course, and I don't want my so I'm not sure how to invite you, Hologram. I'm not sure how to do that. Um, so So I just don't. I'm not going to pay attention. I'm not going to pay attention to. Um. Yeah. Yes, I am. Um. So I'm not going to pay attention to what Vince Russo or what Eric Bischoff is saying about WWE and AEW because they're just jealous. They're not working for the company anymore, and they are just two bitter fools. And I just don't want to pay any attention to them. I got other things. I got other fish to fry. I got other fish to fry. That's for sure. All right. All right. So that's my take on that. Um. So I gave you the wrestling news, and I gave you my thoughts on these releases. And like I said before, I'll say it again. And Hooligrim was in the chat, and he brilliantly. Thank you again, Hooligrim, for that breaking news. Isla Dawn has been released by WWE. And like I said before, I said again, these people are getting released because they're not being prominent on WWE TV. They don't have any creative storylines for them. And of course, they had no spark when they came to the audience. So those were the elements right there. And you all need to stop hating on Triple H, and you all need to stop going after him and coming for him. I have a saying that I always say, don't come for me unless I send for you. You know? Don't come for me unless I send for you. And that's the truth. That's the God honest truth. Triple H is doing his job. The Triple H era is thriving in WWE. The WWE has been hotter than ever before. And I'm telling you this much, everything is working out in the favor of WWE right now. Of course, they got that scandal with the Mr. McMahon stuff, but right now they are focusing on the Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania and getting these storylines to the pipeline and pushing them through for the audience and giving them the best production that they could possibly put on with these matches that you're going to see at the Elimination Chamber and that you're going to see at WrestleMania. So that's just my take on it. That's just my take on it. So that's going to do it, everyone. That's going to do it for the Wrestling Chronicles, volume number 5. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank you all for hanging around this afternoon. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure that, like I said, make sure you hit that like button. You subscribe. Tell all your friends, your neighbors that the wrestling experience is on the air and we're live as live can be. And Hooligrim, I'm going to be in touch with you to reschedule your appearance on the wrestling experience. We've got to talk about that and everything else behind the scenes, and I'll take care of you expeditiously and give you a date and see when you can come on in. Um, so that's going to do it, folks. That is going to do it for the Wrestling Chronicles. This Super Bowl Eve. This Super Bowl Eve. I hope everyone will enjoy the Super Bowl. I hope everyone will join the Super Bowl this weekend. I'm not sure who you're rooting for. Is it the Eagles or is it the Chiefs? Who you got in the Super Bowl? Um, who you got in the Super Bowl? I'm boycotting the Super Bowl. Oh, okay. David, I have the Eagles winning by a couple of points. That's who I got. I got the Eagles on a couple of points. And I think they're going to fly, Eagles fly. I think that's exactly what what is going to happen here. Um, I hope everyone will have their snacks ready. I got my snacks ready for the Super Bowl. I'm going to watch intently and see if my score comes true. If you all want to check out my scores, it's on the community tab. It's on my community tab. That's all you got to do is go on my YouTube channel on my community tab. Vegas ain't gonna let Chiefs win. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see, Hooligan. We're gonna see. But I have the Eagles. I have the Eagles. My fingers are crossed that the Eagles will do this. I don't want to see the Chiefs three-peat. I don't want to see them three-peat. I think twice is enough. I think twice is enough. You've won it twice. It's okay. Let somebody else get through the championship pay window, and let the Eagles fly. Let those Eagles fans rejoice in Philadelphia. And let them. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I want to see the Eagles. I want to see the Eagles fly. I want to see that flag fly at Lincoln Financial Field, and for them to do a ticker tape parade for the fans, and the fans come out. And if that happens, and the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and you all go to the ticker tape parade in Philadelphia, I know you two were Eagle fan. I know you two were Eagle fan. Oh, okay. All right, David. Yeah, yeah. Everybody who's an Eagles fan. If you are an Eagles fan, I wish you the best of luck tomorrow in the Super Bowl. But like I said, if you go to parade, if you go to the ticker tape parade and everything else, then be safe. Be safe out there, and celebrate responsibly, and celebrate with safety and everything else. You and your friends. Um, so. So that's gonna do it. Chief Parade is canceled if they win. Yes, David. Yes, yes. So that's gonna do it, folks, for me and the Wrestling Chronicles. I want to thank you again for watching today's special edition here on my YouTube channel and of course on X. I will be back in cyberspace on Monday night with Monday Night Raw. I'm going to give you Monday Night Raw. We're going to Netflix and chill on Monday night with Raw. So as the Elimination Chamber matches, qualifying matches continue, we're going to see, and we hope that there's no technical problems with Netflix this time on Monday night. Let's hope that the WWE fixes those glitches and everything else. But again, thank you all for watching to this afternoon. I greatly appreciate it. It's been an honor and a privilege to entertain you and to give you my thoughts on the world of wrestling, as I only can do it for you here on my YouTube channel. And like I said, make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you like, make sure that you see. Yeah, later, Earl. Later, Earl. Later, Earl the Pearl. Oh, thank you, David. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back on Monday night for Monday Night Raw. Until then, thank you for watching The Wrestling Chronicles Volume 4. I'm Earl Cole. Have a good afternoon, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I'll see ya on Monday night. So long, everyone.